Following is a paid program. Advice and opinions expressed on the program are solely that of the City of Horicon and Horicon School District, not necessarily WBEV or Good Karma Brands. Welcome in everybody to Taking Care of Business. Today, it's a Wednesday, and it's been about a month, so it must be Marsh Talk, and that's, of course, why we got you guys in today. How are we doing to start off with?
We're good. Having a great start to October.
Okay. I mean, the weather is finally feeling like October.
It is.
The fall weather is hit. It feels like football weather, finally, if you're a football fan. Obviously, some of us are, but baseball as well.
Brewers in 6.
You think so?
Brandon Jennings said so last night on Twitter.
Okay. And that's enough for you.
Yep.
That'll do it for you.
Plus, it's the Brewers. They're going to do it.
I got to say, 2 games down, though, it feels a little like an uphill battle, but
it just gives us more time to watch games.
That's
if we
true.
would have done it in 4, it'd been pretty boring. We'd had to wait around for the other series to get to
right. That's exactly why we took the Cubs to 5, because you just gotta.
It made it more exciting when we actually beat the Cubs. We just wanted to have them think they had a chance.
There you go. Give the good starters and everything some time to rest and relax before they have to
get your money
battle it all
page
back.
now.
So mark your calendars, people. You've heard it here officially. This is how it's gonna run down. We get no choice in the matter now, and if you're right, I'm sure there's gonna be some sort of prize in your future.
If I'm wrong, I'm sure I'll hear about it too.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to start by throwing out, of course, for people who want to reach out to the show, if you have some questions, we're going to open the phones up today. 920-885-4446 is the phone number, or you can call or text us at 920-887-9595. And Ashley is up in the studio and more than happy to take your calls or texts and send them our way when they come in, so we thank her for that. You can also, of course, if you're not watching the show, you can watch it on Daily Dodge TV, on dailydodge.com, or on our YouTube channel. You can also, of course, listen, as you are probably now, on 95.3 WBEV. Of course, we have you guys in for a purpose every month, and we like to go ahead and start with that, with introductions and why you guys do this. So I'm going to go ahead and let you guys introduce yourselves, because you know yourselves better than I know you.
Well, I am Katie Schwartz. I'm the superintendent of schools for Horicon.
There you go.
And I am Josh Moss. I'm the mayor of Horicon. And just why we're here, we've been doing this for a few years now. It's a good way for those who might not follow us on either of us on our Facebook pages, the school district or my mayor page, or our multiple different city pages that we have, like City Hall, DPW, the fire department, the police department. You know, it's another way to get out to the folks that can hear us. Sometimes, like you said, they can call in, but it's a good way to hear it directly, I guess, from the horse's mouth. Instead of the inevitable rumor mill, it's better just to hear it right from the source.
And oftentimes when you hear it from the rumor mill, that third party, fourth party information, it's usually about negative stuff, for one thing. And of course, like any good game of telephone, it gets changed before it gets to you. Mm-hmm. And here you guys aren't just about talking about the stuff that might be the harder news to share, but you guys also throw some celebrations out there, some shout outs for things that are positive and good happening both in the community and the school.
Oh yeah, we don't have any problem coming on here and talking about the stuff that isn't necessarily positive or exciting. I think today's episode is going to have a lot of everybody's favorite topics, like budget, taxes. Everyone loves that.
Oh, we all love that.
Me as a resident.
Yeah.
But we'll get into those.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and start diving into some of what's going on here. It looks like we're going to start with some city stuff. So, Mayor, go ahead, take it away.
All right. First, for all those folks on East Walnut Street, thank you for your undying patience with the project. East Walnut Street looks gorgeous. I don't know how to say it in any other way. It's so clean. It's so nice. It's so accessible. It's 2-way now instead of just being 1-way. You know, I understand that some of the majestic trees in town did come down, but they will eventually grow back. It's not a finished project yet, so I just want to let everyone know, but you can park on it, you can drive on it. We're not enforcing it. The signs right now, you see the stop signs are temporary, so make sure to look down and see those stop signs when you cross Palmatory and Finch and Cedar and Hubbard. Just they're there, you still stop. It's a residential street. It's not necessarily an alternative route to Lake Street, which is a highway. So treat it as a residential street. Treat it as a road you're supposed to go 25 miles an hour on. And enjoy it. It looks amazing. I'm really excited about how Walnut came out.
I'm assuming the temporary stop signs are just because they haven't installed the permanent ones yet.
They haven't installed
but they will
them,
be there.
and it just hasn't happened yet. I'm gonna guess. I mean, so you can use it as is right now. It'll probably be in November by the time those signs get up.
Now, you did say not finished project. Is that because the signs are still remaining, or is there other stuff they're still kind of working on along the way?
Signage is the main reason, but there's a couple other things that need to be wrapped up before the project is done.
All right. I'm excited for that one because we've talked about that one for a couple of months now. It's been an ongoing project for the vast majority of the summer.
It
right?
was a very large project. It is the road that is directly parallel to the north of our main street. So it has often been used as an escape route for people because you know how heavy our downtown traffic is. So the Walnuts and Maples and Linns of the world have been used as, you know, oh, hell, the stop sign's packed. Let's hurry up and run down Walnut Street. Let's run down Maple Street instead. But now, and that was only a one-way.
Right.
And so it was mainly people coming from the west trying to escape to the east. Now it's going to be going both east and west. It looks so different.
Right.
It's hard to believe it was the same road. And with these large trees that were there, beautiful trees actually, they're no longer there. So the road just looks massive and inviting and really clean. And we get a lot of just kind of like quick trip semi-traffic. You know, the quick trip that's right there. They tend to go up that little jaunt on Clark Street and then take Walnut to get back to 28. And with the road being new, and this was a complete reconstruction, so that includes the laterals and the pipes under it.
Right.
That it should be better able to handle some of that very short jaunt for semi-traffic as well. But
No.
normal semis should not be on that road at
Right.
all. They have no business being on that road.
Like you said, residential road, not
It is
business.
absolutely a
type road.
residential road. One of our longest, most established residential roads. It is a residential road, period.
Now, before we get the phone call, because I know inevitably somebody's going to call and ask this question, so I'll beat them to it. With Walnut Street completing, what's next?
And we'll find out when we get to this next part. Huh?
Oh, well, let's lead into it. What's next?
All right. Just going to talk a little bit about our budget. I know Katie talked about theirs a little bit last month. Last Monday and Tuesday, I had my meetings with the department heads. The only thing I pretty much put in prior to the meeting with these folks is that we will not be doing a borrowing event this year. We had a borrowing event for Walnut. We've had borrowing events in the past for some large capital equipment and some other roads we did and other projects we did. I mean, we're not a bank. You know, we're city government, and we have to, take that into account. Right now, our debt is completely manageable, but there's no reason to put any more on, just to spend.
Right.
And all the department heads came in with very good, very reasonable requests. I don't want to say, I could talk about what I approved, but that really doesn't matter. I bring in a budget.
Right.
It's no different than at the state where the governor gives a budget, it gives it to the assembly, gives it to the Senate, and they tear it up and do whatever they want with it. It's kind of how it works at the city level too.
Okay.
I submit a budget. Council then has their committee of whole where each of the department heads can kind of argue for and against my decisions. And then council inevitably gets to sign off on a budget. I don't know where we are standing right now as far as how it ends up financially. I feel really solid. We have levy limits in place. There's only so much we can do.
Right.
There's only so much we can add to it. We got our property numbers, for the year. Our residential or altogether in our city, our values in town only went up like 3%. And there are limits to how much we can raise the levy. And in this case, we can't really raise it at all. So the levy is going to have to be flat,
Right.
at least from the city. And then we have the debt payments too. So I guess when we get to that part, we have our council meeting the fourth Thursday of every month. And then 2 days later, on the 30th, is when we're going to have our committee of whole, where we're going to try to hammer out the kinks. It's usually our longest meeting of the year. It starts at 6. The earliest I remember getting out was about 10:15. There's some old timers on council that'll say they remember ones that last till 1 in the morning.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that's our big one. And then in November, we will have a public hearing on the decisions that came to on October 30th. And then we will adopt our budget on that Tuesday before Thanksgiving, which is our regularly scheduled November council meeting. At that time, we will know our numbers. Our numbers will then be uploaded to the county, where the county takes our levy, school district's levy, the county's levy, and Moraine Park's levy in order to, formulate our property tax bill for the year. So until that time in November, we really won't know.
Right.
Now, as far as when you're asking about Walnut Street before,
Right.
our DPW and utilities director, along with our city engineers, MSA, out of here in Beaver Dam, they are doing their normal yearly road grading. They're going around seeing, it's kind of called Pacer,
Right.
where they put the scores on each roads and where they're at. Last year, we fixed Ellison, where our fire department and police department come out of by our public safety building, and we did some other projects throughout town. Full reconstruct on Walnut. I guess we levy a certain amount of money for those repairs, but we don't put a street name on those repairs
Right.
until we figure out the information we get from Cody. So that's kind of where we're at with that.
Gotcha. Makes sense. Now, you said that ties in kind of this next topic here, which is software and processing updates there at City Hall. I know we talked before about some new software being put in place to make the work a little bit more streamlined and less of a headache.
Yeah, I kind of want to talk about City Hall a little bit. So our new treasurer/director of finance, Chrissy Wild, started on October 1st. We have a new clerk as well. And one of the things we've been looking at in the last 5 months is how to make those processes in that office considerably more efficient than how it's been. And we've been working with not only our accountants, which is Baker Tilly, but also kind of the people that help us with the bonds and the debt issues, Ehlers. And they're going through, and then our software program, which is Cassell. In the past, there's been a lot of functionality that we've had that we didn't utilize that could have made their lives considerably easier, made it a lot better for our department heads so they can kind of see where they're at each month.
Right.
So there's a lot of that stuff that we're working on in real time. And even with the budget this year, our software and our partners are going to help. They're helping tremendously with training. You have new people coming in. I think the investment we put into not only training a new director of finance/treasurer, but also our clerk, who acts as our deputy treasurer, and then our other two extraordinarily hardworking ladies downtown, Michelle and Teresa, who handle almost all the public-facing
Right.
part. So they can all back up each other. If they're all trained the same, whenever we have someone on vacation or someone's out for 3 weeks for any reason,
Right.
that our processes don't come to a damn halt anymore, that everything keeps moving, keeps going. And they've been exceptional. They just did, say reconciliation on all of our books since January 1st. And the only thing that was missing out of all those transactions we've done for 8 completed months, like all the way through August, was $155. And then they found it was just dog licensing. So when we're sitting there doing our reconciliations, money coming in, money going out, bills being paid, we're right on the dot.
That's awesome.
I mean, how many
That's where you wanna be.
other cities can say that?
Right. And when it's not, that's when people are, showing up at meetings and throwing fits and trying to figure out what's happening.
rounding errors happen with pennies and nickels, and pennies and nickels add up. So $155 out of millions,
Right.
that's rounding error. But we don't even have rounding error.
That's
And
awesome.
I want to give those 4 ladies and our partners as much public credit. I hope people are listening or they're going to watch it later for absolutely hammering their jobs. I was down there this morning before I came in, and it's amazing how people can look in one direction at a handful of receipts and type with a calculator with a paper ribbon on the
Oh,
other
yeah.
one. And it's like, how in the hell can you do that? It's just like any people that type with a typewriter that have done it for so long, they don't need to look at the typewriter.
Right.
Very impressive, and they work very hard. And City Hall looks different. And if anyone from Horicon is listening, go downtown. Go to City Hall. You'll see all 4 ladies there in that middle. They're all working together as a team. So you have the two ladies up front, Michelle and Teresa. You can see Chrissy and Chris. They are in the same room towards the back. It looks like there's a big open hole in the middle, but that's between their desks and the front-facing desks. But they're talking to people. People are coming in. They're talking to them. They're working as a team. It's actually really impressive. And I just wanted to take this time to say, how well they did a reconciliation. They're getting us ready for this next budget season. It's been great.
That's awesome. And well-oiled machine is what it sounds like, and new staff on hand sounds like they're fitting right in.
It's not only being a well-oiled machine, which they are becoming. It's about the customer service to our residents. It's about being in 2025 instead of 1985. There's a lot of things that are just excellent that they're doing. And, they're 3 of the 4 down there are the same age as me. We're all in the same boat. When you're in your early 50s, the last thing you want to learn is anything new.
Right.
But they've embraced it, and that is really cool.
That was really awesome. And I think you touched on it pretty much there with there's kind of a endemic of a lot of small towns not having the budgets to improve software, improve staffing, improve facilities.
It's what you choose to invest in, Ninja.
There you go. And you guys have chose wisely, it sounds like.
If you can't do if you don't have the tools to do the most basic processes of what a city government should do, which is use your residents' money wisely, or at least account for it.
Right.
I'm not saying our accounting was bad. It was on the dot.
Right.
We're just doing it in a way that is much more now.
Right.
Much more efficient. And it'll be great. I'm excited.
That's awesome. You got one more topic on here that you definitely want to touch on, and this is a big one because we are in the right month for it, obviously. Trick-or-treating coming up. Yep. I'm assuming, 1, you've got some dates for me, and 2, it looks like you want to talk a little bit about safety.
Yeah, Katie has it on here for the PTO trunk or treat. I'm going to talk more about, we have first trick or treating's coming up. It's actually trunk or treat for St. Stephen's on Saturday. Then we have citywide trick or treat, not this weekend, but the weekend after. And then we have the trunk or treat up at the high school, which Katie will talk about later, that has a ton of people. This could be my 4th. They have a lot of people.
That's awesome.
That's crazy. I'm just asking, when you guys in Horicon or whoever from other cities, because we have the worst traffic out of any city in the county by a mile. So when you're driving through and you see trick or treat is going on, in the past we've used DCERT. Our fire folks are out there, our cops are out there, there's parents out there. Slow the hell down. Trick or treat's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Horicon traffic sucks. In front of my house, which is the worst, you're trying to cross on the corner of 33 and 28, trying to get down that curve, and kids are running. Just remember the kids. That's all I'm asking. When it starts getting dark around 5:30, 6:30, these kids are going to be jutting across the street. They may have a little light thing on their wrist. You're not going to see that.
Right.
Shit. You're not going to see that stuff. So I'm asking people during trunk or treat, if you're up by Gray Street or up by the high school anywhere, there are going to be kids running around. Just be patient. Understand it's trick or treat. That is trunk or treat, and that's all I'm asking. Because our cops will be enforcing.
Right.
I promise you that they will be enforcing people that are not stopping for the kids, for these families that are speeding. They are definitely going to be enforcing.
Yeah, and that makes a lot of sense. I know we always stress, when kids are walking to school or walking home, pay attention, whatever. But this is one of those times where you're going to have even more kids on the street because there's nobody being bussed. Nobody's being bussed for trick-or-treating. These kids are just walking. And as much as parents say, don't run across, don't do this, don't do that, when there's candy at stake, they really get into it.
Got it. That's all I got, man.
All right. Well, thank you for that. We're now going to start diving into some of the school-related stuff. Katie, obviously, this is your avenue. School year, it's we're about, almost through the first quarter at this point?
As of the day of trunk or treat on October 31st, that's our last day of the first quarter. So it's crazy to think that much time has actually elapsed. Almost 9 weeks of the school year has gone past, and again, we've just had a really incredible start to the year. We're actually right in the middle of our parent-teacher conferences week this week. Okay. So for any parents who haven't come up to the middle or high school yet, last night was the first night, but tomorrow we've actually changed our calendar a bit this year. So tomorrow conferences will happen from 1 o'clock until 7:30 at night. We will also have several things going on. I think our volleyball team is hosting a triangular, so you can come watch the game, come get a little check-in on your kids and their grades and see how they're doing. Elementaries are all pre-scheduled, so families will know what time they're coming in, but that's always such a great opportunity for us to connect with families, build relationships, and make sure that we're moving forward in the best interests of our students. That's
another nice perk about that, all being one building, one facility is, if you come in for a middle school thing and high school volleyball is happening, it's just a quick jaunt over to the gym.
Yeah, and our teams would love, more butts in the seats is always a good thing when the kids are on stage or they're out on the court or on the field. We just appreciate the community of partnerships.
That's awesome. So then it sounds like the start of the school year has been going fairly well.
It has, yes. And we just got done celebrating National School Board Week last week.
Yeah.
So I'd like to give a shout out to our incredible school board. Our Board of Education they are committed, they are supportive. They are positive, and they really do an incredible job on behalf of the students in the school district of Horicon and our staff. So our president, Meredith Strife, our vice president, Dave Westemeyer, clerk, Jim Grigg, treasurer, Janelle Nicolaus, and then our board members, Jackie Vincent and Lisa Bischoff and Nathan Hodgson. Their incredible service and leadership is appreciated and really valued by our entire community. So we can't do the work we do without their support and their leadership for the school district. And I'd just like to give a shout out to them because it is an honor to serve them and to serve our students as well.
Awesome. And I always forget to ask this question when we start talking about school boards, so I remember at this time. Currently, school board's full. There's no seats or anything that need to be filled, nothing
Correct.
like that?
School board is full. The next election cycle will be in April.
Okay.
And so all of those timelines are working through, and our admin assistant, Trish, is great about making sure that the public postings are available. So I am just really thankful for our Board of Education and their service, and we're in a good place.
Awesome. Sounds great. Next thing you got here on the list, I'm a big fan of this week when it comes around. I got a lot of friends and family who work in that are as firefighters. Fire Prevention Week.
Yes, Fire Prevention Week is an important week, and of course, the students and the staff know we practice our drills every single month, and that's something that is incredibly important for us to do. But just recently, we worked with the fire department to coordinate a surprise drill. All of the drills are surprise to the staff and the students. But they were, as a fire department, they were present for us. And so we had the opportunity then to work with them to debrief and just make sure that if there were any issues that needed addressing, that we could address them. There were none, so that's fantastic. We're grateful for their partnership too, because we all know between the police and the fire department, if we have a need, they will be there to support us, and we're really appreciative of that.
That was really awesome.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of the work that, of course, all the fire departments do. I just got to help out the Beaver Dam Fire Department with a crash recreation at the high school. It's amazing all the stuff that they delve into and help with, and nice to see that partnership there.
Yeah, and we've started kind of looking through into the future too to see how we can collaborate on future events, future training opportunities, and the more the law enforcement community is familiar with our campus is a good thing in my mind, because then as they're responding to emergencies, they know our campus, they know where things are, and it just allows us to be more effective together.
And we exercise that.
That is awesome.
One thing I didn't have on there, I wanted to add.
What do you got?
It is National Principals Month. And
Oh.
so it is really important for me to recognize the 3 principals in our district who give everything they've got to our staff and our students all the time. So I'd just like to just give a public shout out to Lisa Sawyer, our elementary principal, her assistant principal, Cynthia Borgstrom, Michael LeBoughton, who is the principal of the middle school and our activities director, and then, of course, Mrs. Graven at the high school. Without their leadership, it is difficult for us to carry out the mission that we have for all of our staff and our students, too. So they are an incredible group of leaders, and so I'd just like to publicly thank them for all that they do.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
Next topic you got here is always a tough one. We've heard the city's update on stuff.
Yeah.
Now it's time for yours.
We're going to squeeze this nugget of information in the
let's do
middle
it.
of everything today. We pass our preliminary budget in August, and those numbers are very much based on what we knew in July. And so our final budget goes to the Board of Ed next week, Monday. And so I'd just like to recap a little bit about what's going into that budget so that everyone knows, even from the state level, how does that state assistance and our local policies work together. So we did see an increase of $325 per pupil, and that's for this foreseeable future that the governor built in. So we will be increasing our revenue limit by $325 per pupil, both for this year and for the $26-27 school year as well. However, that $325 per pupil as it alone is the 18th consecutive year that the state caps on per pupil general revenue have trailed behind inflation. So just like you and I in our homes are feeling the effect of inflation, the school district, the city, everybody feels that as well. Over 80% of the school districts in the state have actually had to rely on their community then to provide additional resources just to make the bills. And so often they're going to operational referendums to do that. Currently, that is not us. We don't have that in place. But I just wanted to be clear, it is tough for every school district out there to make ends meet with the limited amount of revenue limits that we have. We also did not see an increase from the state. There was not a general increase in state aid. And if that's not the only thing that impacts our tax levy.
Right.
So things that we look at that play into our tax levy would include property value changes and equalization aid, spending limits and levels, which we really try to put ourselves in a position to spend less than previous years as much as we possibly can. Our open enrollment patterns have a play in that. The number of residents who are attending voucher schools, because that goes into our tax levy as well. Concentration of high needs students impacts all schools, like students with disabilities, English learners, and students who are experiencing poverty and homelessness. And then our debt service obligations as well. Our state aid declined fairly significantly this year, unfortunately, by over $500,000. We just got that finalized note this morning at about 10:30.
That's big.
It's big. But unfortunately, for us to continue operating just as normal, and even with attempts to spend less or equal to last year, we will have a slight deficit budget, and that will the lack of state aid will also mean an increase on our tax levy. But that being said, I can't thank the community enough, because without that, we can't operate our schools, and so that's necessary for us. We are looking for our mill rate. The mill rate's likely to go up to about 7.6, and that's up from 7.0 last year. things that are looking good or better. Our enrollment, although it's down a little, it has stabilized. We had 2 years of decline, but we've really stabilized, and that is a really positive thing for a school district. The state aid numbers roll off of a 3-year rolling average, so being stable or trending up is important.
Right.
So, so that's the budget.
That's the budget. And obviously, that's going to tie into what we already talked about the city budget, where they're going to use that information. And that all, again, gets sent to the county. The county is going to compile that all together. We heard that earlier, and that's how you're going to find out what your tax bill is going to be.
Yep.
Patience.
I can't have patience for sure. And also thank you, because without that, we can't do the important work that we need to do, whether it's city government or school leadership, to make sure that our community has what it needs. And just like Josh was saying, I can't do that part of my job without my incredible staff as well. And I'd like to just say thank you to Kathleen Carpenter, she's my business partner, comptroller, who really helps me to get this all ready for the Board of Education, to make sure that we are not only being as conservative as possible, but as responsible as possible to make our budgets work.
Right. And I'm going to throw out there, just from my point of view, I've always thought, as a taxpayer, take advantage of those opportunities to go check out, what the school's got going on, check out volleyball games, football games, baseball, whatever, go to the plays, go to the band performances, be a part of what your tax contributions are going to, so you can see the hard work and be proud of what that's going to. Makes it a lot easier to pay that bill.
It does, and it's impressive. We have an incredible campus. We have fabulous kids and staff, and the product that we, I guess, provide to the community is a pretty impressive product. So you look at where they start in their little 4K years, all the way up to graduation, and it takes a lot of hard work and dedication to make that product happen. But we are incredibly proud of those results. So
there you go. Yeah. Now, something else to be proud of course, is homecoming. That's a big deal, especially for those high school students.
It is. We had a really nice homecoming. We played against Bigfoot High School. We won the game.
Nice.
And the football, our football team has really taken their lumps this year in the Capital Conference. And just a shout out to those kids in particular who've given up a lot, and including quite a few injuries this year to make this season happen. But we won that game, and that was exciting. I'd like to give congratulations to our queen, Aslan Heller, and our king, Cole Berggren, for representing the homecoming court.
Awesome.
But what just a great week of pride for the community and for our team as well. So homecoming was great.
There you go. Now, since we're talking about homecoming football is one of the things, but that's not the only sport going on.
No, it's not. And the middle school seasons tend to be pretty short. They're only about 6 or 7 weeks.
A lot of them are wrapping up already,
They
right?
are, yeah. Volleyball wraps up this week. They will have a game in Princeton on Thursday, and then their conference tournament on Saturday. And our middle school football team has finished up, and boys basketball starts next week, Monday.
Already?
It does. It does.
They're gonna be good.
Yep, they are going to be pretty good. So we're really excited to see middle school boys basketball, not the varsity yet.
Right.
So our high school football team actually has one more game this week against Lodi. And just to give a little shout out to the football team, I know Barrett Meyer, as our quarterback, set some school records last week in the game. Daily Dodge was there covering. It was
awesome.
It was a really great game. Although we lost in the last second on a last play touchdown. Just a shout out to the kids though for playing through adversity. We had a student leave with some broken bones, and it just, the kids pour a lot into those games, and the coaches do too, of course. So that season will be coming to a close this next week for football. Cross country has had a really exciting season, and I'd just like to cap the boys have won championships at 2 invites, the Horicon Dodge County invite, the Johnson Creek invite, and they've taken second, both at Marquezan and Laconia.
Nice.
As a team, the boys have placed in 4 out of 9 events that they've been at, and that team includes only 2 seniors. So the majority are returning this year, and I think that's going to continue to be really exciting for our runners. The girls have been scoring lots of points and consistently PRing. They are a small team of 6, but they are mighty, and they're working hard to compete solidly. Our cross-country team is wrapping things up, too. They have conference this Thursday at Winnegami Golf Course, and sectionals will be October 24th, and that is hosted by Sheboygan Lutheran. So really proud of that cross-country team. They're leaving it all out on the field, I guess, the course.
Yeah.
Volleyball wraps up their final week of regular season play this week, too. So we have a triangular Thursday at 5, starting at Horicon. Like I said, come on into the game. Go to parent-teacher conferences. The team for volleyball this year is pretty young. They're made up of only 4 seniors, 1 junior, 6 sophomores, and 1 freshman. So that young team started the season with only 2 returning starters. They've shown a ton of growth over the season. The captains have done a really nice job of embracing those younger players and guiding them along. They will have their conference tourney they had it this past Saturday, They were in the silver bracket and they did well. They placed 3rd out of 8, so that's good too.
Very nice.
We're really proud of the growth that they've shown, and Coach Bamer's really looking forward to continue to work with those ladies in the off season to keep them growing too.
Now, of course, it's not all about sports. You got other stuff going on there at the school.
No, it's not.
I know. Relax, Mary.
I know. But we're really proud. We have 2 great theater presentations coming up here. The first will be our middle school, high school program called Stranger Stories. And it is centered around a group of kids who break into an abandoned house and find a book of horror stories that came to life when they read them. Some of the works featured in the play would include The Monkey's Paw by William Jacobs, The Raven by Edgar Allan Poe, Telltale Heart by Edgar Allan Poe as well. So you can see a show after you trunk or treat on the 31st.
I was going to say, I saw the first aid here because I'm thinking, all right, this is spooky, so it's got to be right around.
Yep, so
That's perfect.
October 31st at 7 p.m., and then the following day, November 1st, Saturday at 2 p.m., and then their evening show is at 7 p.m. We will soon have tickets available online, just like you could to come to any of our sporting events as well. Or you can also get them at the door. Tickets will be $7 for the general public, $5 for students, staff, and senior citizens, and you won't be disappointed.
That's awesome. I might actually have to make my way over there for that because those are 3 stories I know very well.
Yes. And you love spooky things.
I
remember
do love
you saying
spooky
last
things.
time.
Yeah, I'm well into my 31 days of Halloween at this point, and yeah, it'd be a nice way to top it all off.
Well, and following that, the following week, our elementary school musical called Frankie Builds Androids will be making their debut. If you have never seen our elementary productions, they draw quite the crowd, and it is very exciting. Frankie is a brilliant but socially awkward student who just wants to fit in. Don't they all? And so when a group project goes wrong, she comes up with a solution. She replaces all of her classmates with androids, each programmed to correct their flaws. And so what follows is a hilarious and unexpected adventure that challenges our ideas of community and perfection. So pretty powerful for that middle-age elementary and middle school type theme. We actually have 23 students doing off-stage jobs like making sets, doing makeup and stage crew, sound, curtain, all of those things. And there are 36 elementary students performing on stage.
Wow. That's really good.
Kudos to Mrs. Zaz and Mrs. Borgstrom for heading that coordinated chaos up because that is a lot of elementary students to coordinate in a small area. Some students are even doing multiple parts. So they meet actually 3 days a week for a little under 2 hours each. So there's a ton of work that goes into those productions. And you won't be disappointed either to go visit them. Tickets are on sale now, October 28th through November 7th at the door. But I will say often they tend to sell out. So you could purchase those tickets at the office. They will make their performances on the Friday night at 7 and then Saturday, I believe that is at 1 o'clock. So very exciting for them. We talked about PTO Trunk or Treat that's coming up on the 31st from 5:30 to 7. That's put on by our parent-teacher organization. They just do an incredible job, and we have incredible community support for that as well. And a few other events coming up. Our Veterans Day program is quite well attended, and that will take place on November 11th at 10 a.m. So we look forward to inviting our veterans in. Our Marshman Community Coffee with me. We're taking the October month off, but we jump in again November 20th at 8:30 in the morning. So I look forward to meeting with the community there. And just a final shout out to our Marshman Foundation that supports all things Marshman.
Yeah.
So far, the foundation has purchased CPR mannequins, audio-visual equipment for meeting spaces and extracurricular events, and has started providing gifts to our schools and clubs, the school clubs as well. So always thankful for the incredible support of our Marshman Foundation.
Absolutely. And the foundations like that are super critical in a lot of communities, especially smaller communities. You know, it's a nice way to give back. Do you guys know if somebody wants to become a part of the Marshman Foundation? How do they do that?
Yeah, they could. We have a spot online on our school district website, or they can contact me directly, and I'd be happy to help direct them in the way of both giving and supporting in any way that they can.
That is really, really cool.
Yeah.
We got a couple minutes left. I just want to touch on a few things. One, two performances happening almost back to back for you guys for the schools. You guys have just the one stage, right?
We have one stage in the high school gym.
That's a lot of coordination to make happen.
It is. That is not only the coordination for the events, but for practices also, because all of those kids are needing the stage at just about the same time. So our directors do an amazing job of coordinating those events.
Every time I sit down with you guys, I think about how there must be so many different, positives and yet challenges to have everything in one facility. And that was one that I hadn't even thought of until you brought it up here. And I'm going, okay, I imagine that's got to be a complicated bit of chaos,
it
but
is
fun.
Because it's also our gym space too. So it's not like things can just be left out. The AV equipment, the lights, the sound, every time they need to practice, that needs to get taken out, put back away again, just so that it doesn't get damaged during FIAD classes or volleyball or basketball practices. That it is an incredibly coordinated system. Yes. Let's
jump back into a moment talking about the trunk or treat coming up again October 31st. They're at the school. If people want to get in on this, if they want to show up with their own trunk and give out candy, is there still room? Can they still do that?
We would have to contact the PTO. I would suspect that they're full, but the PTO are the people running that. And again, if they would like that information, I'd be happy to send that along to inquire if there's still space. I know they send that out pretty early, and I think the spaces book up pretty fast.
I'm imagining it's very, very popular. Any final notes, words, anything you want to share with the public from the city's standpoint, the school standpoint, before we wrap up the show today?
Yeah, sure. I really recommend any of the Horicon veterans to be a part of that Veterans Day program at the school. I've gone the last couple of years. The honor those kids show our veterans in town is pretty impressive, and it's well deserved. And I know there's no way I can go thank all of you before November 11th, but at least I can go around and say thank you for your service. So please, veterans in town, consider getting your name to the school. They feed you, they honor you like you deserve, so please do it.
Yeah, it's an incredible event. All of our students, so well over 800 students, all staff, including we bring St. Stephen over as well. They take part in that. It's just an incredible event to honor the service of our veterans. So we hope everyone can join us.
That's awesome, and I think that's a great note to end on there. Obviously, anybody wants to find more information, they can check out the websites, Facebook pages, regular posts on there for people to know how to find out what's happening in and around the community, in and around the school district. Yeah, sounds pretty good.
Thank you.
Awesome. Well, Katie, Josh, I want to thank you guys for coming on and spending some time with me today. This has been a paid program. The advice and opinions expressed on the program are solely that of the City of Horicon, not necessarily WBEV or Good Karma Brands.